I think we're a bit too close. Hey there again, it's Evan. I'm Evan here. I would like to continue this very storied telling, this very storied storytelling of the 5 tracks that comprise my EP, Identity. Identity was my first EP. I finished it in 2015. It was released in 2016, even though I finished it before 2016. And basically what I've been doing in each of these episodes is just, I was writing stuff down back when I was making this EP. I was writing stuff down about each song. And about 7-8 years ago, I posted this stuff on Tumblr in a post called like stuff I wrote down while making Identity. And I wrote something down for each of the 5 tracks comprising Identity, and I'm sharing them with you. And so today we talk about track 4, which is called Why I Don't Care. I've got Monica with me. She's my trusty wusty fire tablet. It's funny, I just realized that trusty wusty is better than trusty musty and trusty dusty, because Monica's not that dusty. Anyways, yeah. This is gonna be cool, I think. Because track 4 on Identity is actually my favorite track on Identity, and so far it's in my top 5 favorite songs I've ever written. It's so good. Like, to me, I personally really believe so. Anyways, without further ado, this is the stuff that I wrote down for track 4 of Identity, which is called Why I Don't Care. It's funny, and it's funny in my mind. I just thought to myself, like, the pressure is on, but it's like, really, at the end of the day, like, does it really have to be? Because I'm just trying to share a message. I'm just trying to get this out to y'all in the best way that I know how. Like, with what I have, and so it's all fine. I think it's gonna be good, and I'm not really trying to impress anybody with the way that I speak or the way that I do anything. Just more so, I just have a really good message, and I just have a message that I think is really good, and I'm just trying to get it out. And hopefully you think it's pretty good too. So, track 4 is a rebellious song about a rebellion that isn't really a rebellion. It's only meant to make a statement. On Why I Don't Care, the drum beat part at the beginning can be interpreted as us as a generation being steadily brought up in a good way, I guess, before getting increasingly tripped up, hated on, desensitized, or otherwise negatively affected before going into the main beat. And when it hits, it can symbolize the collective members of Gen Y saying enough is enough. And caveat / side note here, at the moment, like in 2015, there really wasn't that much like rhetoric around Gen Z, or the people who were born in sort of the transition years between Gen Z and Gen Y. And so historically, or and so history might remember me as being one of the very oldest members of Gen Z. However, I have a millennial sister, a young millennial sister, and so a lot of my house, and so a lot of my house amenities, my upbringings, they were very millennial, because I wasn't the oldest, and so in light of that, I really am just as much a child of Gen Z as I am of Gen Y, um, and so like in this, I'm going to keep mentioning Gen Y, but like the thing is that really, um, I'm more of an in-betweener in that sense, and there's a name for us in-betweeners, between these two generations in particular. Like, you know how like Gen Xers and millennials, like eh, basically people who were born in like the late 70s or so, like a lot of them are called Zennials, like with an X. And so basically the intermediary group between millennials and Gen Z are called zillennials. And so that's the category that I most identify with in terms of generational cohorts. Like now that caveat's out of the way, if you hear Gen Y, you can really just say like zillennial, but also it can be tied in with both Gen Y and Gen Z because again, it's like um like at worst I embody so many of the greatest ideals of both, and at best it's like um I'm the absolute best and most multifaceted of both worlds. Now then, so eh, yeah, um so on Why I Don't Care, the drum beat at the beginning can be interpreted as uh, as us as a generation being steadily brought up in a good way, I guess, before getting increasingly tripped up, hated on, desensitized, or otherwise negatively affected before going into the main beat. And when it hits, it can symbolize the collective members of Gen Y saying, enough is enough. Not really angrily, kind of like the way I'm kind of like the way I just said it now. I'm not really angry. I'm not really angrily, but forceful enough to push away all the opposition from those that find our differences from them unsettling. Like older generations and like, in some cases, younger generations, compared to like Gen Z and millennials and zillennials, and so, yeah, um, yeah. So here we go. Um, Honestly, the song only sounds menacing and fight nightish, because I'm trying to effectively get a point across, and being seemingly aggressive seems to be the language that most people understand best. I really wish that would change about the world. But 17-year-old Evan was on a mission, and I think he achieved it. um, um, and then in quotations, like I have someone saying like, "Hey, you mad, bro?" And then I said, "Hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not even angry." I originally thought that Why I Don't Care would be no more than 5 minutes in length the way I wrote it, but the topics that I had put in it extended it to a near 6.5 minute song. The first song of the first of any of my songs to achieve this milestone of being 5 minutes, or even being over 6 minutes, or even being, well, or even almost rounding up to 7 minutes if you round to the nearest. If Why I Don't Care were like 2 seconds longer, you round it up to the nearest like minute, it would be 7 minutes. Either way, um, And it's funny because I even had to take a few lines out at the end because I thought that the song was running too long, which I don't know why I like thought that at the time. I kind of know I was sort of in like a pandering mode in the sense that like I was trying to make it so my songs were shorter because I thought that oh if my oh even though I want to make long songs, if my song if my songs are shorter, like the attention spans of so many different people, like for whom like whose ears I want to hear my music, if I don't make a shorter song, then they like might not then they might not like then they might not like listen to it. Um, I don't really think in that way along those lines like all that much at all anymore. But that was something I was conscious of during that time, and we'll actually hear more about how that sort of motif of going from longer songs to shorter songs sort of like progress the more I share the backstories of all my songs. So yeah. Anyways, um, yeah. So where was I? Um, yeah. Yeah, I even had to take a few lines out at the end because I thought the song was running too long and that I'd lose the interest of my listeners. See, like this is exactly the sort of like pandering like mode that I was in at this time. And again, 17-year-old Evan, he didn't know what 26-year-old Evan would end up finding out. And so I don't blame him in the slightest. Like he was just doing what he was just doing what he thought was best. Simple as that. Um yeah, and then in parentheses I just realized that I said this or re-realized that I said this. Yeah, it's like I thought the song was running too long and that I'd lose the interest of my listeners if I put those few lines that I took out back into the song. So I definitely see myself revisiting and or revamping this song in the future. But don't let the length drive you away. This song keeps you entertained from beginning to end. Um, I'd say that all the songs are genre benders in their own right, but this one is the genre bender. Like too many influences to count, but Linkin Park, Demi Lovato, Ye. Uh, uh, at this point in history, he was widely known as Kanye West. Kiss, Paramore, my man Michael Jackson, and the later work of the Jacksons, also known as the Jackson Five, are among the biggest influences on Why I Don't Care. Why I Don't Care can actually be seen as an oddball anthem for millennials. I say millennials, but this also ties into Gen Z and especially zillennials. It's long and epic, brimming with, or it's long and epic, brimming with strong messages that most younger people can relate to. And it's a little chant worthy at times. We are different and we force others to stretch our understanding in order to understand us. We put their minds on the brink because a lot of people have been raised and taught to think of and perceive the world in a very inflexible way. And so it's like trying to feel when all of the like drugs run out. Um, um, it it puts people's minds on the brink, like seeing and perceiving and attempting to accept our differences as the generations that have come after them. um, s- a- at, um, as the generations that have come after them, such that like they're not trying to change us in doing so. Like that sort of process, it's almost like a withdrawal sort of thing, in the sense that it puts them on the brink. But the thing that I'd like to share with a lot of people of older generations who have an issue with people of younger generations is that if you actually try to see about us for our own merits and see what sort of things we have to offer to the world, then I imagine that you'll be able to hear more and to be like a greater match to all the positive aspects of who we are as people of these younger generations, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and so on. And so, yeah, yeah. And so, um, but in that initial point, like which we are currently living in right now, I believe, um, we are putting, um, we are as younger generations putting the minds of the people of older generations on the brink, you know? It's like in the song I say, I don't care what you think. I put your minds on the brink. The stress you put on me at school is the reason all my thoughts sink, I think. Yeah. And so there's all these different like wordplay and messages and all these different, and that's exactly, and that's an even bigger reason as to why I Don't Care is one of my favorite songs I've ever made. It and it's funny because I made it when I was 17, and I just um I paused because I like heard my mom beginning to speak. She wasn't like she didn't need me, but like being autistic um in my case, not in all cases, but in my case, implies hypersensitivity. And so it's like I can hear a pin, and so I can hear a pin drop in another room. Um, I'm on a bad day, and this is definitely a bad day in that sense, in the sense that I'm feeling like kind of all over the place. But either way, I'm working to make this video, and I'm still trying. I'm still trying to make this happen to the best of my ability. So yeah, um, yeah. So yeah. So the main message of Why I Don't Care is 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 that we're gonna do what we want to do in life as the members of the younger generations, and it doesn't matter if it's different from what's been done before. We are the future of humanity. So it's gonna happen either way. Like whatever we decide to do with the world, it's going to come to fruition, because at some point, like the the like hands of quote unquote authority have to be passed down, uh, because at least at this point in history, like that we're living in now and that I was living in 2015, um, um, nobody's really figured out exactly how to live forever. Even Methuselah couldn't get to 1,000 years old. I mean, it's funny. Like Methuselah is always the little like reference point that I share with people, and I just think it's so funny because it's like, ah ha ha, he lived to like 980 something, and it's just like, haha, he didn't get to 1,000. Anyways, yeah. So Why I Don't Care is actually my favorite song on the EP, because lyrically, I feel it comes from the heart. I feel it comes from the heart a bit more so than the other tracks. Excuse me. It also has the coolest instrumentation of any of them, in my opinion. Identity is probably my close second, though. Um, Hold on, I got lost in trying to interpret what 17-year-old me was saying, or 17, perhaps 18-year-old me was saying. I was 17, turning 18 at the time when I was like making Identity and like recording it and producing it and all these different things. But yeah, the title track Identity is probably my close second, though, as it is a song all about me and who I am. And yeah, that's basically it. As far as like additional things to explain that I didn't write down back then, I don't really think that there really is, because honestly, like, I think kind of recently I've written a song that may very well end up being one of my all-time favorite songs, like that I've ever written up to this point too. Right along with I Don't Care. I'm right along with Why I Don't Care. But either way, I'm really happy. I'm really excited about the future of my music. But that's a story for another day. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I just wanted to give y'all, or I wanted to start off by giving you, the person who's interested in hearing more about my music, I just wanted to give you more of a backstory. And so I started very near the beginning of the story. Because technically the story starts in like 2012, 2013, but I didn't start recording but I didn't start recording music with the intention of releasing it until like 2015. And I didn't start releasing it until 2016. It took me a second. I had to realign, had to adjust. It's like Eminem says, I'm not a rapper, I'm an adapter. I can adjust. I'm also, even though I haven't heard every bit of the Marshall Mathers LP1, I can still say that overall I enjoy the Marshall Mathers LP2 even more than I do the songs that I know off of the Marshall Mathers LP1. And it's funny because it's like Eminem is like my favorite rapper of all time. And so I really think that like I just love him. I just love him. He's amazing. And also he's autistic too, and I think that that's just so cool. And it's just like, oh, like go figure. It's like my favorite rapper like isn't the same neurotype as me. That makes sense. Okay, cool. But yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because it's like even like the more songs that I write, and I'm really proud of the new songs that I'm making, but even as I'm making those songs, like Why I Don't Care, it still holds up. It feels angry in hindsight, but the thing is that um it's cool because I think its anger can almost be excused like in almost every sense, because like it holds up as like a multi-young generational anthem. And so anyways, um 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 uh as I always say, I am autistic, which means I am mind blind, which means that I can't read people's minds unless they tell me what they're thinking. And so if you feel called to, if this video, if this discussion rather, like resonated with you in any way, good or bad, I invite you to let me know in a comment. It could be as simple as like a yes, keep doing this, or like a no. I'm not exactly sure where I was going to go with that, but part of where I was going to go with that is that even if you think a comment is bad, so to speak, um, I still want to hear it. I absolutely still want to hear it, because the thing is that it doesn't matter how like hurtful or negative you think a comment is. At the end of the day, I think it's valid, and and it's okay for you to think that way, if you think it helps you right now. And I just want people to do whatever they think helps them at any given moment. And so, as long as that's happening, I'm honestly, I don't really care what they say to me. Like, or specifically, I don't care what bad things they say to me. But that being said, I also don't like harp on bad things all that much. So it's like you could tell me whatever in these comment sections of mine. Like, you can tell me like as much or as little stuff as you want. Honestly, I think it's really I think it's really um, like important for people to share their thoughts, and for people to. I think it's really important for people to share their thoughts, and it's really important for people to. I think it's really important for people to. I'm sorry, my mom's having a passionate conversation, and again, my hypersensitivity, I can hear it through the doors and the windows and all those different things. Um, and it's throwing me off a little bit. That's what's causing this pause. But um, but either way, at the end of the day, like if this conversation struck you in any way, I really like invite you to share whatever is on your mind. Because again, I'm autistic, I'm mind blind, I can't know what you're thinking unless you tell me. Like, I can sense people's like emotions and feelings, but that's a big difference. It's different than being able to like tell what somebody is like, to tell what somebody's thinking, like what's on their mind, you know. Um, Anyways, at the end of the day, I love you. I think you're awesome. I'm glad you're here, and um, I'll I'll see you in the next one. If you want to, if you, if you want to hear more, if you want to hear my song "Why I Don't Care," I'm going to make it so the card that'll take you to the playlist that features Identity and all of its music videos and all the commentary, and all the lyrics and all those different things. Um, a card for that is going to appear right here, right about now. Yeah, so that's basically it. And from there, um, that's basically all I have for you right now. And if you want, I, and the commentary's in there. And so if you want to hear more, if this is your first video for me and you just want to hear more, then like they're right there in the cards. And other than that, that's basically it. Like I said, I love you. I think you're awesome. I'm glad that you exist here with us today. And I'll see you soon.